I finally decided to man up and get these diff bushings installed so I can get a more solid feel to the rear end of my Genesis Coupe. First things first, I had to put the car on jack stands, get the exhaust removed, which I've done so many times in the past, so the only trouble I might have had with this is rusted bolts, which that isn't such a big problem. Then I had to get the exhaust off of the hangers, which wasn't a pain either. I just slid it off of this hanger. And there was also one hanger in the back that I did end up unbolting. But onto the sway bar. Get the rear sway bar off. It's just a couple bolts here and there, and then it removed pretty easily if you ask me. And now I have access to finally start removing the 3 rear diff mount bushings. And so let's go ahead and get this started.
No way that's supposed to be happening. Only one bolt's out.
I attempted to use a Dremel because that was all I had, but that was obviously no good. So I ended up taking a trip to Home Depot to get a hacksaw, and that ended up being one of the most excruciating things that I've ever done with a vehicle. But I ended up getting it done. Alright, it's finally Monday. Put the garage down. Finally Monday, and we got these diff bushings put in. Hopefully I did a good job of putting them in, because it did take Saturday and Sunday to get it done. Not the entire day, I would say, but it did take a substantial amount of hours each day, and a lot of aching on my bones and stuff from this cold concrete, because your boy about to be 30 soon, and yeah, but now it's time for the first drive, the first real official drive on my way to work, and we're gonna see how this car performs. I'm not necessarily gonna do any spirited driving or anything, because I am just headed to work, like I said, and I have about a 45-minute drive there. So I just want to see and document for y'all just what these diff bushings actually do. A lot of people say whenever they do install diff bushings on the Genesis, they tend to hear like a whirring sound whenever they are like under load or releasing off the throttle. One of the two, I don't really remember, but one of the two. And if you don't know what a whirring sound is I think it's the sound of the vibration that you get between the air and an object spinning. Don't quote me on that, but you can look it up if you want. But that's just my particular definitions on the word, and that's how I perceive it. Put that seatbelt on. So far, just leaving out of the neighborhood, the car does not feel like it wants to fall apart. The reason that I chose to put these bushings on the car is because under throttle, like whenever I give the car, you know, a good amount of torque, it feels as if the rear wants to, I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's like torque spin or something like that. It's the equivalent to like if you're drying out a towel and you feel it like get tougher and tougher as you go. It's almost like that in reverse, in my opinion, the more throttle you give it. like I said, I don't really know how to explain this. I'm not a rocket scientist, I'm not an engineer, and I don't know how to explain this, but that's what I feel. The rear wants to spin like left, while the front like counter steers to the right, should I say? And that's the feeling that I get whenever I'm under load. Hopefully this solves that by not allowing it to have that sort of tension or that sort of slack in the rear end to do that on the throttle. I'm trying to see if I hear any clunking or anything. So if I'm just being quiet and getting on and off throttle, then sorry for that, but this is just me testing out the car before I get on this highway. I'm not sure if it's just me, but I think I may hear the little whirring sound, which it just sounds like tires on the road, to be honest. It could be my tires, but it sounds like fresh tires on the road. And now we're about to merge onto the highway. I can definitely feel a difference. The car doesn't have that torquey sensation anymore. And it's not that I'm going so fast or anything. I'm not really doing a pull, but I did feel it upon getting on throttle, which, I mean, the bushings were in terrible shape, to be honest with you. And they had so much slack, and it was just time for them to be replaced. But you can definitely tell the difference, though. Definitely. And I wanted to get that done before the autocross season, so I wouldn't have anything to worry about as far as slop. But the car definitely feels like it isn't sloppy, it is tight, and I think that's gonna be good for the autocross season that's coming up. Now I'm on this long stretch of highway, and like I said, I'm headed to work, so I didn't want this video to be real long and drawn out. I just wanted to show y'all that I was gonna be replacing the bushings on the car, and that I did. But this is where I'm gonna end today's video. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Leave some positive vibes in the comment section below, and just, you know, leave me a comment or two and let me know your experience with taking these things off the car, because I had quite an experience. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, you might want to go ahead and do so, because I do plan on dropping some fire content in the year of 2025, and I want y'all to stick around and enjoy the ride. Hit the notification bell on your way out, and this is where I'm gonna end the video. So always remember to do more, be more, believe more, and achieve more. And I thank y'all for watching. You mean to tell me I left the socket on my hood? Oh man, on my cowl or windshield wiper, whatever it's called. I left a socket there,